If you've ever been wondering how to prepare your kids for a portrait session so the experience actually feels joyful instead of stressful, I want to share these 3 simple shifts that make an incredible difference. Most families come into a portrait session wanting beautiful photos, but they're also worried about how their kids will behave. Will they cooperate? Will they smile? Will the experience feel chaotic? After working with more than 20,000 families, I've learned something important. The way children show up to a portrait session usually starts long before they ever walk into the studio. It starts with how they are prepared. The first shift is about timing, and this is where most parents unknowingly set themselves up for a challenging experience. If we wait until they're in the car on the way to the studio to tell our kids what's happening, we've already missed the opportunity to prepare them properly. Kids need time to process what's coming and understand why it matters. They don't naturally care about the family photos the way that parents do. So we have to help them build the understanding, and that is an investment. About 5 to 7 days before your session, start having conversations about it. And I don't mean mentioning it once. I mean talking about it over several conversations throughout the week. Start by mentioning this experience and the studio so it becomes familiar instead of intimidating. You might say something like this: next week, we're going to a portrait studio and they're going to take our family photos. I've seen their work and it's beautiful, but here's the part that makes the biggest difference. You need to explain why this matters to you personally. Kids may not inherently care about portraits, but they deeply care about making their parents happy and being part of something meaningful to their family. So I encourage parents to have a conversation that sounds something like this: these photos are really important to me because they capture who we are as a family right now. When I look at them hanging in our home, I'm going to remember this time in our lives together, how old you were, what we loved doing together, and how much we love each other. That means so much to me, and I'm really grateful you're willing to help create these memories with me. What you're doing here is building an investment. You're helping your child understand this isn't just about standing still and smiling for a stranger. It's about being a part of something that truly matters to the people that they love the most. I once photographed 2 families within the same week, and the difference was incredible. The first family had clearly been talking about the session ahead of time. When the kids walked into the studio, one little girl ran right up to me and said, "Hi, my mom said you are the photographer." They were curious, relaxed, and excited to be there. Just a few days later, another family arrived where the kids had no idea what was happening until they got into the car. One child walked into the studio and immediately said, "Wait, we have to take pictures?" They were confused and hesitant, and it took a lot longer for them to feel comfortable. The difference wasn't the kids, it was the preparation. When children understand what's happening and why it matters, they show up completely different. It also helps to talk about what the experience will actually be like. Describe the studio, mention that there'll be different backgrounds and setups, explain that we'll take breaks if they need them. The more familiar the experience feels before they arrive, the more comfortable and cooperative they'll be. When you start this conversation early and frame it as an invitation instead of a demand, you're not asking your kids to perform. You're inviting them to be a part of something meaningful, and that shift changes everything about how they show up. The second shift might feel a little counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful changes that you can make. For years, I have used rewards with my own children, and I watch thousands of parents do the exact same thing. If you smile nicely and cooperate, we'll get ice cream after. And the truth is, it works until it doesn't. The problem with rewards is they're conditional. They only work if everything goes perfectly, and family photo sessions rarely go perfectly. Kids get tired, they feel uncomfortable in new clothes, sometimes they just have a moment or they aren't feeling cooperative, and suddenly you're stuck in an impossible situation as a parent. Do you still get the reward even though they didn't fully earn it? If you don't, everyone feels worse. Your child feels like they failed and you feel guilty. But if you give it anyways, the reward loses its power next time. It becomes a lose-lose situation that adds stress to something that really actually should be joyful. So here's what I recommend instead. Replace the rewards with treats. A reward is conditional. You have to perform a certain way to receive it. A treat is guaranteed. It celebrates effort and participation, not perfection. Before the session, I suggest having conversations with your kids that sound something like this. I know that taking family photos can sometimes be challenging. Standing still, following direction for a little while isn't always something that's fun, but I'm asking you to try your best today. That's all I need, your best effort. And when we're done, we're going to celebrate together. Maybe a donut or going to the park or picking up something special because I appreciate you showing up and trying. I actually learned this lesson the hard way with my own kids. When they were younger, I used the reward approach. I would say something like this: if you smile nicely for photos, we'll get ice cream after. But I remember one session where one of my kids was just tired and not having their best moment. And suddenly I was stuck. Do I still give them ice cream, even though they didn't really earn it? It made the whole experience feel really tense. Later, I started framing it as a treat instead. I would say, all I need from you is the best effort today. And after, we're going to celebrate together. The difference was immediate. The kids felt supported instead of judged, and the entire experience felt lighter. The third shift is something I discovered almost by accident. Practice the smile ahead of time and make it fun. A few days before your session, start weaving into everyday moments. You might say, "Can you show me your photo smile?" When they do, celebrate it genuinely. "That's beautiful. That's going to look amazing in our family portraits." You can even practice together in the mirror. Let them see what their smile looks like and help them notice the difference between a natural smile and a forced one. Practice at dinner. Practice while getting ready in the morning. Practice in the car. The more familiar it becomes, the more confident your child will feel during the session. I had a little boy come into the studio once, proudly told me, "I practiced my photo smile." His mom said that they've been practicing together at home in the mirror for a few days prior to their session. Because of that, he walked into the studio feeling confident instead of shy. He already knew what to do, and the confidence showed up in every portrait we created. When you combine these three shifts, preparing your kids ahead of time, replacing rewards with treats, and practicing the smile, something really powerful happens. Your children don't feel pressured, they don't feel confused, and they don't feel like they're being forced to perform. Instead, they walk into the experience feeling prepared, supported, and confident. And when that happens, the entire session changes. The smiles are real, the moments are genuine, and the portraits reflect the love and connection that already exist in your family. Family photos don't have to be stressful. They don't have to be something that you dread or keep putting off. When you prepare your kids the right way, it becomes something you actually enjoy together, and the portraits reflect that joy. If you've been thinking about creating portraits that truly capture your family, I would love to help you do that. Right now, I'm offering an exclusive portrait session, and you'll receive a complimentary portrait valued at $1,000. It's a chance to experience everything that we've talked about today. All the details are in the description below, and if you found this helpful, I'd be so grateful if you subscribe. I share everything I know about creating family portraits that become the heart of your home, the kind that you're proud to display and your kids will treasure for generations.